Massive cannons shattered Constantinople's walls as thousands of Ottoman soldiers stormed the city under a sky filled with smoke. The defenders fought desperately as the greatest city of the Byzantine world stood on the edge of destruction. In 1453, Constantinople stood as the final stronghold of the Byzantine Empire. For centuries, Constantinople had survived wars, invasions, and sieges that destroyed powerful empires. But by 1453, the Byzantine Empire had been reduced to Constantinople and a few surrounding territories. Across the region, Ottoman power was growing stronger under a young and determined ruler. The Ottomans now controlled much of the land surrounding Constantinople, leaving the city increasingly isolated. The city remained protected by walls, considered among the strongest fortifications in the medieval world. But the walls faced a new threat: enormous cannons capable of destroying stone fortifications. The siege was coming, and Constantinople prepared for its greatest battle in centuries. The Ottoman army arrived before Constantinople, surrounding the city with thousands of soldiers. From the walls, Byzantine defenders watched the enormous Ottoman army prepare for the siege. The Ottomans positioned their largest cannons directly toward the weakest sections of the walls. Then the first massive cannon fired, shaking the ground beneath Constantinople's walls. The impact tore into the ancient stonework, proving the walls were no longer invincible. Day after day, Ottoman cannons hammered the walls, slowly opening a path into the city. Inside the city, civilians and soldiers worked together to repair the damaged defenses. But the Ottoman fleet controlled the surrounding waters, tightening the city's isolation. The defenders still had one advantage: Constantinople's enormous walls and determined soldiers. For weeks, Constantinople endured bombardment, but the city refused to fall. The Ottoman fleet approached the Golden Horn, threatening Constantinople's last protected harbor. The Byzantines had stretched a massive chain across the harbor, blocking the Ottoman fleet. The barrier held, leaving the Ottoman fleet trapped outside the harbor. But the Ottoman commander devised a daring plan to move ships over land. Under cover of darkness, Ottoman soldiers began dragging their ships across the hills. By morning, Ottoman ships appeared inside the Golden Horn, shocking the defenders. The surprise attack forced Byzantine defenders to divide their already limited forces. Meanwhile, Ottoman cannons continued pounding the walls without giving the defenders time to recover. The siege tightened, while food and supplies inside Constantinople became increasingly scarce. Inside the city, everyone knew the final assault could come at any moment. On the final night, Constantinople's defenders gathered behind the battered walls, knowing dawn could bring the city's last battle. Across the Ottoman camp, soldiers prepared weapons while artillery crews loaded their enormous cannons. Before sunrise, thousands of Ottoman soldiers formed their assault lines outside the city walls. Then the Ottoman artillery opened fire, unleashing a thunderous barrage against the weakened defenses. The walls began collapsing under the relentless bombardment, opening dangerous breaches for the attackers. Ottoman soldiers surged forward, carrying ladders and siege equipment toward the shattered walls. Byzantine defenders poured into the breaches, desperately trying to stop the advancing Ottoman forces. The first Ottoman wave was repelled, leaving the battlefield covered in shattered siege equipment. But the Ottomans had overwhelming reserves, and another assault was already forming. Inside Constantinople, exhausted defenders realized they could no longer hold every section of the walls. The final Ottoman assault began, as thousands of soldiers charged toward the shattered defenses. The defenders fought desperately as Ottoman soldiers climbed over the broken walls. The battle spread across multiple breaches, overwhelming the already exhausted Byzantine defenders. A breakthrough finally appeared, allowing Ottoman soldiers to pour into the city. Inside the city, defenders desperately formed new lines as Ottoman troops advanced through the streets. The streets became chaotic as thousands of soldiers and terrified civilians collided beneath the smoke. The Byzantine defenders were overwhelmed as Ottoman forces continued advancing toward the heart of Constantinople. At the walls, the last organized Byzantine resistance fought desperately to delay the inevitable. The final defenses collapsed, and Ottoman soldiers flooded deeper into the ancient city. After centuries of survival, Constantinople's legendary defenses had finally been breached. The Ottoman flag rose above Constantinople's walls, marking the end of the Byzantine Empire. The last Byzantine resistance disappeared as Ottoman forces secured the city's gates and major defenses. After the battle, smoke covered the city as soldiers moved through streets that had witnessed centuries of history. Constantinople had survived for more than 1,000 years, but its Byzantine era had finally ended. The fall of Constantinople transformed the balance of power between Europe and the Ottoman Empire. The city became the Ottoman capital, beginning a new chapter in its long history. Yet the memory of the Byzantine capital continued through its monuments, ruins, and surviving traditions. The shattered walls became a lasting symbol of an empire that had refused to disappear quietly. Constantinople fell, but its story continued to shape the world long after the final battle ended. In 1453, an empire ended, but Constantinople's legacy survived through the centuries that followed.